every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
Core TV News, expanding your view.
Good afternoon. Core TV News on the hour. I am Tolu Ojewumi. The leadership of the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Sunday popped champagne at the presidential villa to celebrate the party's inroad into the southwest region. PDP leaders are happy that the party was victorious at Saturday's governorship election, but President Goodluck Jonathan insists that the fact that the process was largely hitch-free is enough cause for him to celebrate. He also had nice words for Governor Kayode Fayemi's sportsmanship in accepting defeat graciously.
It's only hours after Ayo Fayose was declared governor-elect in Ekiti, but it didn't take long for his party leaders to roll out the drums in celebration. PDP was virtually non-existent in that part of the country after a major loss in 2007, so it's not surprising that the party is celebrating Fayose's win.
Your Excellency, I want to state that both myself, my deputy, the Senate President, and members of the campaign committee, we had full cooperation of the party, particularly the chairman. And I'm happy today, Your Excellency, that we have not put you and the party in the assignment that has been given to us. Congratulations.
This isn't the first time the PDP will win elections during the Jonathan administration, but it's the first time party leaders celebrate. President Jonathan says the fact that there was no post-violence in Ekiti is a major cause for celebration. He also managed to rope in Eagles World Cup win over Bosnia.
Before this time, the kind of reports I had was that there will be crisis in Ekiti. There will be this in Ekiti. There will be this in Ekiti. I pray, that's the only thing I can do. I can provide the security, but security does not solve problems. God doesn't want it that way. I'm quite pleased that the elections have been conducted and it is still very peaceful. The results have been announced, nobody has been killed, no one has been burnt down. That gives me even more joy. Again, to crown it all, last night, the Super Eagles made all Nigerians to smile.
Party chairman Adamu Mwazu was elated that the results of the Ekiti election are acceptable by local and international observers. He also expressed gratitude to all who worked for PDP's victory in the state.
Very well. He has remained steadfast. He has remained dogmatic in ensuring that he carries the common man, who are his backbone, the strength of his polity at all times while campaigning. I want to assure you that I will sit down with Ayo Fayose to make sure those people that have elected him, those people that have supported him, those people that have elected our party to power remain joyous, remain happy, and remain constantly in touch with them so that we will continue to win.
The party leaders believe that now that they have a foothold in the Southwest, it will be easy to build on it in future elections.
And Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi has thanked the people of Ekiti for their support during the governorship election while congratulating the victorious candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Ayodele Fayose. Fayemi promised to work with newly elected governor of the state and to continue to move the state forward, calling on all sons and daughters of Ekiti to come together after what he described as times of divisive electioneering campaign.
About 30 minutes ago, I spoke with my brother, Mr. Peter Ayodele Fayose, congratulating him on his victory. In a few hours from now, on Monday morning, I will be meeting the governor-elect to discuss the future of our dear state and how we would work together to institute a smooth transition program. It has been a hard-fought election. As expected, in the course of the campaign, there were unsavory episodes as the candidates toured the nooks and crannies of the state to sell ourselves to our people. Elections tend to be highly divisive affairs that often see brother rising against brother. Despite our diverse party affiliations, and regardless of which way we voted on Saturday, we must remember that we're all sons and daughters of Ekiti State. Ekiti remains ours to build together. On our part, over the course of the campaign, we presented our scorecards before the people of Ekiti State. We never at any point took your support for granted. We campaigned, we canvassed, and we traversed the nooks and crannies of this state. Our performance and achievement in office will remain the backdrop against which the next government, and indeed future governments, will be assessed. We are proud that with the support of Ekiti people, we have raised the bar of excellence in governance.
The concession and congratulatory message of Governor Fayemi has now elicited reaction from the governor-elect in Ekiti, Ayodele Fayose. Addressing journalists in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, Fayose appreciated the spirit of sportsmanship of Governor Fayemi and promised to consolidate on the project of the incumbent governor. Ekiti State correspondent Rashid has details.
Since their announcement of former Governor Ayo Fayose as the winner of the June 21st governorship election in Ekiti, series of events have greeted the outcome. The biggest is the congratulatory message of Governor Fayemi when jubilation by PDP members was at its peak. Ayo Fayose commended Fayemi for the bold step taken in accepting the result. He promised to extend the hand of fellowship to Fayemi.
Governor Fayemi has called me early hours of this morning to concede the faith. And I will see him tomorrow, hopefully, for us to let the public know that we are together, irrespective of our past. Ekiti belongs to us all. A governor has only got a time, term, and tenure, but Ekiti will remain forever.
Though the APC and the PDP might belong to different schools of thought, Fayose assured the people of Ekiti that projects embarked upon by Fayemi will not be abandoned.
We have to work and take over from where Fayemi stops and do it and make sure Ekiti people get the best out of these things. It is not about Fayemi, it's not about Fayose, it's about the people.
Fayose called on security agencies for the release of anyone arrested or detained in connection to any political violence that erupted during the electioneering campaigns.
To the police and security agencies to kindly release everybody, irrespective of their political party, that has been detained for one reason or the other.
The sportsmanship exhibited by top contenders in the election has elicited hope that the post-election period in Ekiti will be devoid of any form of acrimony as experienced in the time past. Rashid, Core TV News, Ado-Ekiti.
Now, the Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures of Nigeria has sought for financial autonomy for state houses of assembly in the country. This was contained in a communique issued in Uyo and signed by Eugene Odo, Speaker of the Enugu State House of Assembly and Chairman, Committee and Communique. According to the communique, the autonomy will enable assemblies to be effective and efficient in the discharge of their legislative duties. The conference called on the National Assembly to expedite actions on the ongoing process of constitution amendment and transmit same to state assemblies for further legislative actions. It also appealed to state lawmakers to ensure stability in the polity and entrenchment of democracy by avoiding frequent and unconstitutional change of leadership of the assemblies. The lawmakers affirmed their support for President Goodluck Jonathan in the fight against terrorism, and urged Nigerians to unite and restore peace in the country. Former Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nasir El-Rufai, has called on the government and Nigerians in general to work towards removing the root causes of corruption. He was speaking at the monthly lecture of the Companion on the topic, Corruption and the Challenge of Good Governance. Sheyi Martins was there. His report presented from our studios.
The former minister, who was the guest speaker, said good governance and corruption have a link. He says the best way to put Nigeria on the path of good governance is for corruption to be tackled from the roots, especially for public servants.
And sometimes they don't get paid on time. Their police stations have no material, no writing material, no pens, no electricity. So we must attack these roots. We must remove what can push an honest person towards corruption. Because the person that cannot feed his family or send his children to school or pay his hospital bills, I'm sorry, is incapable of being honest. So we must attack the roots of corruption.
Discussant at the gathering, Debo Adeniran and Moise Banire spoke on the greed of those in public office, saying most corrupt acts are just purely covetousness. Moise Banire decried what he termed the politicization of religion as a form of corruption.
I submit strongly that is an act of corruption, because like our current governor said, on the road that you fly, the water you drink, is it really there or is it dictated by your religion or your faith? But what do we find? We find a situation where we're going to, at least as far as I'm concerned, we do not know the end. It's the beginning we are seeing now. I've said this several times, it's the beginning we are seeing. But by the time the end comes, it probably will consume the whole political firmament of the nation.
People wey don't talk belly food, if you want talk more, not be say you need that food though. You just dey talk man, or talk to say he get access to them. You just dey talk. Nothing dem be oh. So this kind of people, then dey plenty for our country. Now that kind of people, now it be many politicians.
President of the Companion, Musbaldin Oyefeso, says the discourse will not end there, but will be presented in a booklet and sent to the political leadership of the nation at all levels.
Yes, what we intend to do is to compile the reports. We are going to read the reports now, send it to the presidency, send it to all the state governors, and also all the local governments, the 774 local governments that we have in the country.
While his promise to make this available to the nation's leaders is commendable, it's only hoped that this will be a step forward in the nation's ongoing quest to true nationhood and development.
We're going to break now. When we come back, we'll take a trip to Egypt. Stay with us.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Now the rest of the news. An Egyptian court has sentenced 3 Al Jazeera journalists, including Australian Peter Grest, to 7 years in jail after accusing them of aiding the blacklisted Muslim Brotherhood. The court convicted Peter Grest, Mohammed Fahmy, and Baha Mohammed of spreading false news and supporting the banned Islamist group. The trio had denied the charges. 3 other foreign journalists tried in absentia received 10-year sentences. The trial has caused an international outcry amid claims it is politicized. Earlier, the Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott made a direct appeal to Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for the release of Mr. Grest, a former BBC correspondent. The 3 Al Jazeera journalists have been detained in Egypt for the past 6 months. Grest and 2 other reporters working for Qatar-based Al Jazeera English were among 20 defendants in a trial that has triggered international outrage amid fears of growing media restrictions in Egypt. We'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I'm Tolu. Or Jeremy, good afternoon. See you again on top of the hour.